So I would like to welcome you to our event today. We'll talk about new income stream and how it will go. Okay, welcome to SEEDIN, the office of SEEDIN here in OCBC Center. To further discuss about what is SEEDIN, I would like to call on our Managing Director for SEEDIN Singapore, Mr. Nelson Cole. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you. Hi, good afternoon everyone. Thank you for taking the time on a Saturday weekend to come and listen to our sharing session. Oh, the mic loves me. Okay, this is an event, right, where we're working together with SEEDIN Singapore, myself, SEEDIN Philippines, and VK5 as well to provide you all some information and introduction on things like finance, alternative financing, online lending, and wealth products or solutions as well for financial planning purposes. Now, I guess most of y'all, when y'all are here today, y'all actually came here to try to understand more about how, as a Filipino worker, a foreign worker outside of Philippines, how y'all can plan for your future and what are the opportunities available specifically in Philippines. So maybe I'll just share a bit about SEEDIN before I pass the mic back to them so that we can get the conversation going. Now, SEEDIN is actually a peer-to-peer lending platform, but actually what happens is people like you and me will be lending money to companies either in Singapore or Philippines. So what happens is the SMEs, these small companies or medium-sized companies, they get financing from you and they will give you back interest return for supporting them. So actually it's a loan. Now, what's the difference between us and Philippines? It's actually that we are a company, right, that has been around since 2014. We are available in Taiwan, Cambodia, Philippines, and Singapore. Now, one of the interesting things is, as you'll probably realize, Singapore is a quite tightly regulated and a formal environment. So in Singapore, we do have a capital markets license with MAS to engage investors like all of you. But in Philippines, well, I think Edison, my executive director in Philippines, he will share more later if there is time. There are talks going on with the SEC, and largely it depends on what is the SEC's feeling on the ground in Philippines. So having said that, we've been here for 4 years. We have done about 144 million in loans to companies across this region, of course with the help of investors such as yourself. And I think today might be a very interesting opportunity for all of you all to see the kind of options that are available for yourself, or what are the things that are happening in the finance industry as well. So I hope you all will enjoy our little office here in OCBC Center, even though it's a little bit open concept and a bit messy at the back, but at least you get to see what a real online company looks like and what we do. And if there's any questions you have about Singapore, Philippines, or maybe VK5 specifically, feel free to ask. I think it would be nice to understand what's going through in your head at the same time as well. So thanks for coming, and I hope this is a fruitful event for all of you today.
Thank you, Mr. Nelson Ko. So to start with, further discuss what is SEEDIN all about, I would like to call on the Executive Director for SEEDIN Philippines, Mr. Edwin Tsai.
Thank you, Rich. Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. Mabuhay. Kabayan. Good afternoon po. Surprising, no, coming from Asian, but I'm actually from Philippines. I arrived last night. And, my name is Edison. I'm the Executive Director for SEEDIN Philippines. So my background is a bit, I would say, unique, no, because I'm a Taiwanese. Taga-Taiwan po ako, but I have been staying in the Philippines longer than I had in Taiwan. right? So I had stayed in the Philippines for 27 years, and I lived in Taiwan for 10 years during my primary school years. So basically, the environment in which I grew up with is largely influenced by the Philippines market, and in fact, I'm also a dual citizen as well. And why did I mention that? Is because I do see a huge upside or potential in the Philippines market, and that is also the reason why SEEDIN is firmly rooted in the Philippines in helping Filipino SMEs. So I would like to just discuss a bit more on that, and perhaps I can change the mic. Is this better? Sorry. Technical difficulty. I-off na lang. Can we off? Okay. Is it better? Yeah. No? There's a bit of hissing sound, so. Okay. So, I'm sure everyone is here for a reason, right? And I do very much appreciate your time this afternoon to come here and learn more about creating an additional income stream and how to protect it. So I would like to share with everyone a little bit on our experience when it comes to what we call, what we found out kasi when we work with a lot of the investors on our platform. What are they looking for? No? Ano yung hinahanap nila? And we identified them as ingredients to happiness. So we identified as three main components. One, the ingredient to happiness. The first ingredient to happiness is relationships. Okay? Relationships with your friends, families, and loved ones. Agreed? Okay. So without a good relationship with your friends, family, loved ones, sometimes it feels very malungkot, very lonely. So that's that is based on social studies. You need to have a fulfilling sense of fulfillment. Relationship comes into a very big factor in applying and in influencing one's well-being. So the second ingredient to happiness is well-being. So not only just physical well-being. Okay, first of all, do you agree with the phrase na to take care of others, you have to take care of yourself first, right? Agreed? Right. Because how can you take care of other people if you don't take care of yourself? So the physical component is very important. You have to take care of yourself physically and of course mentally and emotionally. So the third ingredient to happiness is wealth. So wealth, well, di ba may saying na money can't buy everything, right? That's true. Money cannot buy health. Well, in a way you can maintain it, but the one of the foundations of keeping a healthy lifestyle, right, and to improve on your relationships as well is to have a solid foundation to provide for your friends and families. I think that resonates with everyone or most of us as well in this room, is for us to want to provide for our family, right? For ourselves and for our family. So the wealth comes in two factors or two criteria. One is active income. What is active income? Anyone? Salary, yes. It's active income, right? Why is salary an active income? Because if you don't work, right? If you stop working,
no money.
What happens? Yes, it stops. So you have to actively what? Pursue the income, right? Actively work. What about passive income? If there's active income, there is what? Passive income, right? So what is passive income?
Even sleeping.
It works for you, right? It's an income that generates income even when you are sleeping, right? So it continuously generates income. Now we'll go into a bit detail because this is what we want to focus on, right? The passive side. Everyone knows about active. So we are here this afternoon to learn more about passive income. Okay, next. So I do want to touch base a bit on the Philippine economy, but the word is inflation, because in Philippines, last year we hit the 9-year high of inflation. We reached up to 6.8% in our inflation rate, right? Now it's a little bit more stable. I would say about 4%. Okay, I don't know about Singapore. What's the inflation rate right now? 2%, right? So last year in Philippines, we hit a 6.8%. That means your cup of Starbucks, right? If it is $2 Starbucks, it would have increased by almost 7%, right? And everything else. So that was a big influence on our income, because if your income did not increase by 7%, your money is what? Shrinking, right? You're losing to inflation. So the idea of building a passive income is to really either, right, fight inflation or beat it. So there are a couple of ways to create passive income. First, okay, next. Okay, first is real estate, right? I mean, I'm sure some of you have already invested in real estate. Real estate brings you, one, the appreciation of your investment in the real estate, and two, rental, right? So that's one way of building passive income. Again, I'm just going through with what the market offers, because these are probably things you already know, right? So second is what you call money market, right? What is money market? What are some examples of money market passive income? Stock market, right? Stock market, what else? Yes? Mutual funds, right? So those are money market, because you are putting in money to make more money, right? So these are usually a little bit more liquid, no, than a real estate, correct? This is a more liquid, it's a little bit more short term than a real estate commitment, because real estate, you're looking at how many years of mortgage, right, or investment, right? So that's the second. And then the third is fixed deposits. What are examples of fixed deposits? Savings and time deposits, right? So these are what usually banking institutions, banks, they offer that, right? So you have, you have time deposit and fixed deposits, savings. In the Philippines, a savings account would generate about 0.25% per annum. Wow, Eddie, wow. How much, what does that mean? 1 million, if you have a 1 million pesos, I'm using pesos now because, if you have 1 million pesos and you leave it in the bank of a savings account, let's say BDO or BPI, right? For 1 year, how much does it generate? The bank will give you about 2,500 pesos. Okay? Yeah. Wow talaga, right? What's the inflation again? Yes. So you lose, right? You lose 4,000 or 5,000 pesos if you leave it in the bank. If you put it in a time deposit, obviously, usually time deposits, they require a higher deposit, right? Higher savings. They will probably give you about 1%, 1 to 2%. 2%, you have to put quite a bit of sum, right? So the bank, for your 1 million pesos on a time deposit, which you cannot withdraw, will probably give you 10 to 20,000 pesos. All right? So that brings us to our fourth channel, which is crowd lending or crowdfunding. So this is where we want to show you on how to utilize or how to maximize our crowdfunding platform to earn interest rates, returns of several times of what the bank has to offer. Right? right? So that is the purpose of today's session. Okay, next. So I want to touch base a little bit on what is crowdfunding. Hello? Yeah, para i-off na lang. I-off na. I think I'll just talk through my natural mic. Okay, is that better? Yes. Yes. Don't worry, hindi pa off to. Hindi pa off. It's good. Even though we had a drink. Not too much. All right, so next. What is crowdfunding, right? Crowdfunding, it's very simple. It's many people giving a little bit of money to achieve a common purpose. You know, in the Philippines, we have a term for that. It's called palawagan. Yes. It's called palawagan. But we're doing it a little bit more systematically, right? A bit more structured. Okay? Because, well, anyway, palawagan is a bit more on a community side, on a small community, a little higher risk, right? So, the essence of crowdfunding, unlike traditional firms, okay, next, is unlike traditional funding, where you have one big institution, right, lending a lot of money to a business or an individual. Usually, this is the way of traditional financing, right? You apply with the bank, you go to the bank, you apply, and then they will lend you whatever amount you need, providing you are qualified, right? So in the Philippines, obviously, these are usually reserved for the big boys. If you are a small business owner, right? If you have your business back home in Philippines, I just want to do a quick survey. Anyone here who has a business in Philippines back home? Anyone here? Yes? How easy or difficult it is to get a bank financing, right? It almost, I'll tell you the statistics. Out of 10 SMEs, well, by the way, there are there are more than a million businesses registered in Philippines. 99% are SMEs. And out of the 99%, the approval rate, out of 10 employees who apply to a bank, you're looking at approval rate is about 10 to 20%. So meaning, out of 10, 8 or 9 gets rejected. Okay. So, because of that, our platform is created with helping the SMEs in mind, with helping these 99% of SMEs to get funding from everyone, right? And that's the power of crowdfunding. It's many small sums from a large group of individuals. In other words, instead of one big bank or financing institution, we create what you call the People's Bank. Okay, parang Pacquiao, People's Bank. Okay, People's Bank, right? So, this is the idea of crowdfunding. Okay, next. So we are a regional company. We are present since 2013. We have funded over $2 billion of financing over the past 5 years. In peso, nasa 112 billion pesos na fund namin. We have also paid out more than 12 billion pesos to our investors. So if you do the math, that's an average return of 11%. Okay, how much is time deposit? 1 or 2%, right? Our subscription rate is 100%, meaning lahat ng SMEs na approve na nasa platform namin, they get funded, right? They get fully funded, and our default rate since 2017 in the Philippines is 0. So wala pa kaming default. And if you look at the regional performance, our average is for the past 5 years is 0.3%, meaning 1 out of 300 businesses sa amin, no? But even that one, let's say you happen to be the person who invested in that one. Bakit 100% repayment sa investors namin? Kasi secured financing ko siya. It's not, hindi siya unsecured. right? When you say unsecured, that means walang, hindi siya collateralized. It's not collateralized. But when you say secured, that means may pinagalingan yung loan. There is a security, or should I say the guarantee for repayment. Kaya wala pang lugi ng investor sa amin. Okay? And that's very important because everyone wants to make sure when they invest, it's an informed decision, it's a protected decision. Okay, next. So, a little bit on who we are. We are a regional company. Okay, next. I won't play the video now, it's a bit software, but so our regional team, okay, as well as our local affiliates. So we are partnered with 3 major banks in the Philippines. Of course, I think you already know who these banks are. So it's Metro, Unibank, and Sterling. We are also partnered with the local governments. That's DTI, PCCI, Philippsport. We are also board members of the top 2 fintech associations in the Philippines. That's Fintech Alliance and Fintech Philippines. I'm also a board member of both. For those fintech practitioners, you can actually apply here. This is for finance fintech practitioners. So, konting segue lang kasi board member din po. But just to show you that we are very, very active, no, in the fintech scene. Kasi we're known as fintech platform. What is fintech, by the way? Financial technology, right? So it's delivering financial services using technology, and that's fintech. So a little bit on our business model, right? So you have a company that needs financing, right? So they go to our platform, okay? They apply, they get due diligence, na-check namin yung credentials, kung loanable sila, and once they are approved, they get to be on our platform for our investors to invest. So our investors will be enjoying or looking at, next, will be enjoying an annual return of 7% and up for each of the projects that they invest. The projects are usually from 1 to 12 months. So short-term financing po, no? So it's not a 10-year commitment, it's a 1 month to 12 months commitment, right? What's special about our platform is that our investors do not just get interest when they get repaid. They actually get the principal as well. So that's a big difference. Because like in a time deposit, you're only getting what? Your interest, right? Every month. But in our platform, you're actually getting your principal. So in other words, if you had invested 1 million in a 10 months project, 10 months, so 1 million divided by 10 is 100,000. That's 100,000 plus interest. Babalik sa'yo every month, comes back to you every month. Okay, so in other words, the liquidity is there. Your investment becomes not only guaranteed, but also very liquid. So guaranteed return, okay, because it's not, the difference with our investment and if you invest in, let's say, stocks market or mutual fund, is that stocks market or mutual funds are usually what you call market-driven returns. If the market is good, your return is good. The market's not good, then it gets affected, right? So in our case, since it's a crowd lending, it's not placed in money markets. It's lent to the business. So the business, the promise to pay back is fixed. Therefore, your return is fixed and predictable. Okay? Collateralized loan, as I mentioned, we only do guaranteed secured financing. Our network of borrowers, and the funds are being placed in a trust account. So that means yung pera nyo, our monies are still kept within the banking system. So the bank, as I mentioned earlier, we have Metro Bank, Sterling Bank. These are the banks that will hold safekeep the monies of our investors, right? So it's very important, no? Because this is where we work with banks.
to make sure the funds are escrowed and in a trust account. Okay? Next. So our mission is very simple. It's Filipinos for the success of Filipino SMEs. Right? You can change this with Singaporeans for the success of Singaporean SMEs, Taiwanese for the success of Taiwanese SMEs. Because we are regional, right? So that means in every country that we operate in, our mission is to help the local SMEs get properly financed. And at the same time, for our investors to enjoy better than traditional financing returns. That is why we provide both services of alternative financing and alternative investment. So we are the alternative channels for that, for both. And we are very, very much on our mission. Actually, we have already done this couple of times, also in Singapore. Last year, the last time I was here was November. We had an event at Jurong Town Hall, and it was about 300 Filipinos that attended our event, also in partnership with VK5. It was a very successful event because a lot of Filipinos, when they join those events, they will be able to see how they can help the fellow Filipino businesses back home. And at the same time, meron silang channel pang-remit ng money at saka pang-invest. So para siyang 2-in-1, diba? Okay, next. Alright, so what do we do to secure the investments of our investors? We go the extra mile. We do not only due diligence, but we facilitate, collect, disperse, and liquidate in case of a default. So all of these are our means of making sure the projects are secured and managed, risk managed by SEEDIN. Kaya yung tiwala ng investors namin is nasa platform to make sure we as a gatekeeper is ensuring the risks are being managed and properly coordinated with these businesses that they are lending to. In other words, the investors don't really have to, kasi when you invest in stocks, for example, you need a lot of attention, right? You need to do technical analysis, right? You will have a couple of sleepless nights, perhaps, just making sure that watching the stocks, right, up and down. So usually, in our case, we're more like a savings or a fixed deposit kind of product. But with knowing that your return is fixed, guaranteed, it puts a sense of peace of mind to our investors. Right? Next. So our business borrowers also have to generate or give us these documents, from the financial statements to the bank statements, income tax returns, so on and so forth. So anyway, if you are a Filipino business that is applying with us, you will have to submit these documents. If you're a Singaporean business that wants to apply with our Singapore office, you also have to submit your own set of documents as well. That's according to Singaporean laws, right? So that's, in that way, this is where we are similar to the bank, right? We are banking standard, you can say that, no? In terms of our due diligence. Okay, next. So some of the projects that we are funding or funded. This is a solar power company, taga Iloilo po ito. Anyone's been to Iloilo? Iloilo is, of course, is one of the, I would say, class two cities, no? Class 1, Manila, Cebu. But it's one of the main driving force in the local market is solar power, because in Philippines we have nothing but the sun, right? We have a lot of sun, right? So solar power is booming, and of course, and electricity is one of the highest, right, in the whole world, I would say, right? So it's a big issue we're trying to address, and companies like these are addressing that. However, they have a hard time getting bank finance because banks don't usually, their pledging is yung collateral, solar panels, solar equipment, solar panels. But usually banks, hindi sila pansin yun eh. They don't want that. right? They only care about what? Titles?
Hard asset.
Yes, hard asset. It's a hard asset din, but they like ano eh, di ba? Bahay, kotse, di ba? Yung mga ganun, traditional, right? So, they come to us, we help finance with them, we finance them, and these are the projects that they have financed with us, okay? And these are the returns that we give to our investors. So now, because we are become their bank, they can now offer terms to their clients. These companies, they used to sell on cash basis. Ano yung different cash basis? Because a solar panel system is not cheap, right? It's in peso, anywhere between 300,000 pesos to 1 million pesos for a home-based solar hybrid system. So imagine if someone will come to you and say, oh ma'am, yung Meralco mo, pag install mo na to, 50% lower, right? So if your Meralco bill was, let's say, every month is 20,000 pesos, magiging 10,000. So your savings is 10,000. However, you have a huge upfront cost, which is 300,000. So, pag-isipan natin, di ba? But since they are now able to offer terms because of our bank financing, we became like their bank. They can now offer 6 to 12 months, 0 interest. So that 300,000 divided by 12 now becomes what? 15,000? I know, sorry, 20,000 or 25,000, right? So that becomes much more affordable, right? And the savings on the electricity is also immediate, right? Once you install, you get to enjoy the savings. And these are systems that's good for 30 years. So in other words, when you install a system like this, in 2 years' time, it will pay itself already. So their sales grew by 30% on a year-on-year basis. Simply, they can now offer terms of payment to their clients. And who is the one funding this? Our investors, right? So our investors, for an average of, well, for as low as 300 Sing dollars, because that's our minimum, okay, investment. In peso, nasa 10,000 pesos, right? 10,000 pesos. They can help companies like this solar power company. Okay, next. Other companies we have funded, an IT company, this is IT naman to. They are providing enterprise business applications to companies in the Philippines, right? So they are providing Microsoft and Oracle solutions. So we also funded them. Next. This one is an HR company, HR systems company. It's for 1 million, 3 months, 10%. So again, when you look at these things, all you have to do is say, okay, what's my return? So 1 million divided by 3, that's about 3, right? Plus interest. So that's my return. So hindi madali yung computation namin. Kasi kung ano yung principal divided by the number of months plus the interest annualized, yan ang ano ko, yan ang kita ko, right? E-commerce. So you have a e-commerce company, they sell Epson projectors and printers online. So we also help them get finance. This is another one and 6 months, 10% project. So again, if you're the investor, you can choose to put in 10,000 pesos, that's the minimum, or 1 million pesos, up to 1 million pesos, right? For this project.
How's the duration and interest rate be determined?
The duration and the interest rate is determined by a couple of factors. One, the borrower's ability to repay. Because the borrower will say, I need this 1 million pesos. Like in this case, they borrow this to purchase inventory because they want to service their clients better, right? So the clients, the lead time to deliver to their clients, it's much more shorter. Now they have an existing inventory. So the company will say, okay, we think we can pay you back in 6 months. So can we apply it to you for 6 months? Then that's where the financial analysis comes in. Because then we'll study the financials and say, okay, we think you can pay us back. An equal spread over 6 months. The interest rate is determined by the, usually we have a matrix, right? We, depending on the financial analysis, we will determine the interest rate based on the risk and the duration. A rule of thumb is that usually a longer project has a higher interest return because that commitment from our investors is different when it's 12 months or 1 month. So usually for 1 month projects, we offer, let's say, 10%. For 12 months project, we would offer 12% and even more, so that they will feel that their return is higher since they're committing longer. But if it's 1 month, after 1 month you get back and with a 10%, that's already great, right? That's already a very, very good return. So usually our investors, the rate is subsequently affected also with the duration of the project. Okay. By the way, if there are questions, please. Yeah, I think we'll have a Q&A later, but yeah. So, yeah.
In terms of risk, right? Say the higher risk it is when the duration is longer. The lower rate is when duration is less. Can I say so?
To an extent, we do agree with that because the longer the time, the more uncertainties.
The risk.
Hence the risk, because if you're talking about like all of us, right? We can probably predict what will happen to or what we're gonna do next week or even next month. But can anyone predict what will happen in 12 months, right? So that's you see the risk is of course is higher if the duration is longer. Yes, yeah.
But technically, right, since the loans are secured,
Yes,
generally our investments are guaranteed, right?
Yes. So in other words, for us to manage the risk, it comes down to the loan structure, or as Kevin mentioned, the guarantee that is being pledged by the company. So in other words, when I say risk, it doesn't mean the risk of losing your money. No, it's the risk of the uncertainties or the environment of that SME to be affected. But the underlying loan structure is the same. So in other words, no matter the duration, your guarantee is always going to be there. So that, as far as that is concerned, we are more inclined to give a higher interest for longer projects simply because the commitment of our investors is longer as well. But the underlying guarantee is the same. No matter 12 months, 1 month, it's the same. There's loan structure. Next. This is a lending company. So, paluwal.com. No, seriously, you can search it out. Pautang. They're doing microfinancing. So what is it? Bills financing. Mabilis simple, right? They're lending at about 100 Sing dollars to 200 Sing dollars. Or in pesos, mga nasa 5,000 pesos average. Alright? Meaning, pag napuputol na yung Meralco mo, alright, punta ka sa paluwal. Para hindi, iwasan ang late fees at disconnection. So we lend to them. We lend them the working capital requirement, 6 months, 10%. So you might be asking, so in essence, what we are lending the lender. We're lending the lender. So yung tanong natin, the question is, how does this make sense, right? Why is the lender borrowing money from us? You know what, let me tell you why. Because we have a very, very competitive rate when it comes to SME financing in the Philippines market. That means they borrow from us as a very low rate, and then they will, that's like a wholesale loan, right? So they borrow from us at wholesale price. Parang wholesale price yun eh. And they sell it at retail price. Tama? So in other words, that 1 million pesos is chopped up into 5,000 pesos, 3,000 there, 2,000 there. Right? So, again, I don't promote this, but it's like cigarette, diba? We sell them to them at the carton, right? At the carton. They sell it per stick. Diba? Kada stick yung benta nila. But where is the risk of default? It's them. Because we are not involved into their microfinancing. They are the one who are guaranteeing the loan. But the working capital is from our platform. So it makes sense because they borrow at this rate and they lend at this rate. They make a difference on that rate, the rate difference, but they take the risk as well. Okay, so this is why this one is particularly interesting because lend the lender, and you know we are experiencing that increase also on the local. Because I don't know if you saw the news that was last month. Sabi ni yung presidente natin, no, Duterte, papatayin niya yung 5-6. Yeah, I don't know. You saw it? It's on the news. He didn't say he will send them to jail, huh? He said he will kill them. hindi pakulong natin 5-6. Papatayin ko si 5-6. What is 5-6? Okay, 5-6 is when you borrow $5, you are paying back $6, or at 20% per month. Interest. Right? You borrow $5, you have to pay back 6. So we call that, in Philippines, we call that 5-6. And that's something that we are really trying to make laban on. We are really trying to curb, because it's not a good thing if companies or individuals are borrowing at such a high rate. In fact, in the Philippines, a lot of the agricultural sector, farmers who are not in the formal financial system, are often victimized by these 5-6, right? And that is something we are really curbing on. We're really fighting with. So we're aligned with what the president said. We're gonna kill them through competition or you know, through natural market means. Okay, humanitarian means. Right. Okay. Next. Some of the fully funded other projects we have. This one is, this one is interesting because this one is a blockchain company. Oh, blockchain! Wow, you heard of blockchain? Yes, right. What is one application of blockchain? Bitcoin. Right, but this is a high tech, using the blockchain company. They work with DOH. DOH is the Department of Health of Philippines, to map out patient records on their blockchain system. In the Philippines, it's very interesting because we have a decentralized patient record system. That means if I check in St. Luke's, right? St. Luke's. Okay, so if I check in St. Luke's, Quezon City, and I transfer or I check in St. Luke's BGC, my record is not. I have to make another new record there. Kahit St. Luke's, huh? So what they're doing is to bring it all to blockchain. They work with local hospitals and DOH to map out all the patient records on blockchain. So there is a huge social impact, because now all the patients who are on that record, their patient history gets protected, gets centralized, and is ease of access for better healthcare. And of course, our president just recently signed the universal healthcare, right? So that's pangbansa natin. So they're in line with that, right? So we finance them, right? We finance them for their development. Next. This one is another very interesting company. This is a water technology company. So this company, you know what they do? They turn seawater or salt water to drinkable water. Sounds like magic, right? No, it's not. It's science. So this company has a site in La Union, San Juan. They brought the latest technology from Holland, because they're one of the best in the world in desalination technology. The technology is called desalination, right? It's to desalinate the salt water. So to remove the salt water to make it drinkable water, right? So their technology is very good. It's world class, but it's very expensive. Obviously, imported sa Europe, di ba? Lahat naman pag imported sa Europe, kahit chocolate. But so what they do is they are in what you call mission critical, health critical, because in countries like Singapore, where water, even tap water is potable, right? we don't feel the need. But in countries like Philippines, right, where a lot of people don't even have that privilege of a basic human right, which is to access of drinkable water. This is where that company is going. They go into rural places, they set up the site, and help the rural communities, because for rural communities, the access to drinkable water is very difficult. They have to travel, right, far places, or pay a very high price, or they have to dig a well, diba? Ano tawag yun? Nawasa? Diba? So what they do is, they get the machine, they set up containers that have these machines. Sasakit nila yung, they get the seawater, right? And then through the desalination process, they churn out tap water, drinkable water, and bottle it into 5 gallons like that. So you see that 5 gallon in your bag, right? There's a water filter. In the Philippines, it's retailed for, how much is that? 40 pesos, 40 to 50 pesos, one like that. They're selling it for 10 pesos. Right? So they're helping the rural community do that way. They're turning hundreds and hundreds of gallons, hundreds of thousands of gallons every day, from seawater to drinkable water, selling it at 10 pesos to help the rural community. That's their social impact. So what's our social impact? Is we help them finance, right? Your 10,000 pesos goes into companies like this because they are changing the world, and we are just providing the fuel, right? When you buy a stock, right, in a stock market, when you buy a stock of SM, right, or Globe or PLDT, you're actually helping the rich get richer. Right? Helping the rich get richer, but at the same time, hopefully you can make money off the market, right? That's, you know. But when you invest in our crowdfunding platform, your monies go directly to these SMEs for their direct growth, right? So it's a very different for us, social impact wise, because the companies like SM Ayala's, you know, stocks, it's really like that. Hindi naman, I don't want to say they don't need our money, but the impact is very, very small of us to a company like SM or Ayala. But for our same money, when we invest through our platforms to these companies, the impact is huge. Whether it's solar, water, renewable energy, or blockchain. Okay, next. Let's bring it home a little closer, right? We have Singapore projects also, right? So I think maybe Nelson can also shed more light on here. We also had a epicenter, right? That's for 2 million Sing. It's a retail industry inventory. Have you probably visited some of the Apple fan, right? Bakute, who here likes Bakute, right? Yes. Yeah. Songpa, right? So 500,000 FMB expansion. And interior design company, right? 660,000. That's our group CEO, by the way, Mr. Edwin, right? So he's also the Vice President for Singapore FinTech Association. Right, next. So how do we compare with other products? So like I mentioned, that our average or minimum is 7% enough, right? So we compare our returns to, let's say, stocks. You can do 10 or you can do less, depending on how well you do, right? Insurance, okay, bonds, mutual funds, and fixed deposits. Okay, next. Our average holding period is about 6 months. Again, we do 1 to 12 months. So it can be as short as 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, or it can be as long as 12 months. So compare with stocks and other instruments, we are one of the more shorter commitments, right? And the minimum deposit or investment is also one of the lower ones, 10,000 pesos. Next. All right, so one of the segment is new products, but I'll just include that in one slide now. So we can go direct to the workshop later on, right? So this is some of our other products, okay? we have, this is the SME financing. So this is where we get projects for our investors to fund. So these are SME financing, which I already explained earlier. Okay, 1 to 12 months. It starts at 3% per month. Okay. We also have corporate products. We have salary loan programs and salary savings program called the Salary Accelerator. So these are, Payguard is our salary loan program para sa empleyado ng isang company. So usually we work with Philippine companies to provide financing, not only for the company itself, but also for its own employees. Okay, so if the employees need emergency loan, salary loan, through salary deduction, we can partner with the company to provide for their financing needs. And also, we extend our investor program to the corporate employees as well. So, for companies who sign up with us on the Salary Accelerator program, their employees are not bounded by the 10,000 pesos minimum. Kasi sila na yung aggregate. The company becomes the aggregator. And the employees, they just have to pledge a part of their salary every month. Okay, so these are the new products that we have that is targeted for individuals, employees in the Philippines. Right? Okay, next. So, are we excited to join? I hope we are. There are a couple of ways that we actually help you to create passive income. The first is, of course, being an investor, right? So as an investor, you can earn 7% and up. You can also help to manage your friends or family's funds. So if you are a fund manager, or should I say a SEEDIN fund manager, that means ikaw yung member, pero yung mga pamilya mo, baka hindi na sila kailangan member. Ikaw na manage yung pera nila. So pwede ganun eh. You can also be a fund manager, right? So you can work with them to give a let's say a return. No? Let's say you give them 5%. So you can make the difference of what the platform gives you, right? So the platform, ikaw pa rin investor, pero yung pera pwede galing sa friends and families, maybe parents, maybe spouse, or and then last is we have also a leadership program that gives you 1% referral, right? So affiliate program, nasa platform na rin po. Later we'll do a workshop that shows you how to do it, no? With cool prices to give, of course. Sige. So next, alright, we'll do this later. But if you're interested to do ahead, you can go to our Google Play Store or Apple Store. Type SEEDIN PH. Look for the one with the flag, okay, Philippine flag, and start your SEEDIN journey. Okay. So look for this. Look for this. Sa Google Play or App Store, right? So with that, I'll leave the floor to Rich, and I'll come back in a bit to show you how to do it real time on your mobile phone for our interactive session. Okay? Thank you so much.
So I guess we have learned a lot from Edwin about another way to have a passive income. Because we're not only talking about our active income, and we want to generate more incomes, right? Everyone's want like to have more money and more that builds our happiness as well. Okay, so now we'll go on to our part as a VK5 partners with SEEDIN. Is we as a VK5,
internet for the workshop later. If we have Wi-Fi, then you can.
Yes, the Wi-Fi is NU guest, and the password is okay. 120 1056789
Everyone got the password, the Wi-Fi password already. Okay. So now, before we go through our workshop today, before we go through the process of everyone got the password already? Alright, okay. So now, we'll go through first, with the help of VK5Solutions, we are here to help you as a team to do financial goals as well. But what is our role? Why we partner up with SEEDIN? So we, the VK5Solutions, with the team of Edgar, there's Edgar, Bobby, including the video, Kevin at the back, Terence, biggest one, the taller one, and Rich, I myself, will help you to have financial goals here. Not only Filipinos, to help you grow your income, but we are here also help other locals as well. We are financial consultants, we are licensed financial consultants. If you need financial planning to your finances, we are here to help you. Okay? So how does it work? Why we are partner in our partnership with SEEDIN? Because SEEDIN, as earlier told you, that they provide a passive income, not only from your active income, they will provide a passive income, so you will further increase more your fund basket. So we, as VK5Solutions, which is our link is there, you can drop by, we are the one who will help you protect those income or manage those income that you will be having. So as VK5Solutions, we will discuss further about how does income protection and income replacement goes to your financial planning. So if SEEDIN will give you another income stream, we as VK5Solutions want to help you protect this income. Okay? How does will protect or will be replace it? So through this one. So income replacement, just to give an idea, is like SEEDIN, a passive income. Okay? So how does income replacement work? When you don't have any income, active income generating to yourself, when you lost, you got sick, you cannot work. When you lost job, there's no active income, right? That's why SEEDIN offering you a passive income. And if you will be retiring, that was income replacement will go. So it's like this. We will give you different avenues of passive income. So aside from SEEDIN, there's others in equity, shares, property, and funds, and even cash saving. So how does it work? So from this, the timeline of our life, we will do working, we will be having our active income, the salary, while SEEDIN offer and other avenues for passive income, there will go the investment. But if we do have this, continually, what is our role? To protect those income. We are the one who will help you to protect this income. Okay? How does income protection go? So, this is our circle of life. 0 to 20 years old, you're just playing, studying, And then from 20 years old up to 60 years old, you'll be the one who will generate income. In this part of your life, from 0 to 20 years old, you don't generate income. Am I correct? Unless some of us will do part-time job when we are in college or when we are studying. You can generate income. And also when we are retiring, there's no income will come into our side. This time, income protection should be done here while you are actively having income. Actively generating income. So income protection will replace here. It will be placed here. So if you will be registering to provide another income stream, which is the SEEDIN or other investment, or even you are working, we are here to help you to protect that one. How we will help you to protect that one? We will identify what is the areas we need to protect. As Edison told earlier, that we need to protect our well-being, we will start to ourselves. We need to protect ourselves. Am I correct? We are the one who generate income. Am I correct, everyone? Are generating income, right? We use our body, ourselves, to generate income. So we need to protect ourselves from accident. Okay? What are the common accidents that will happen when it's say you're doing sports on the other side while working, you're doing traveling? We need to protect ourselves from the accident. And we don't want to use our income or our passive income to pay hospital bills. We want to help you to provide another income, yes. But we really don't want also to use those passive income to pay hospital bills. So we are here to help you to how to have this hospital bills and hospitalization benefits will work on. Also, our life insurances. Death, permanent disability. Yes, we provide passive income. But what if worst case scenario happened to you? You cannot walk, you cannot talk, you cannot hear, or permanently disabled. There will be no active income. The passive income will be used, will replace. But if you are not insured, well, definitely those passive income will be used and lost as well. Am I correct? So we will help you do that as well. And we will also help you to invest, to save for your longevity. So for example, if you're 60 years old, well, definitely in the Philippines, the ratio is until 70 or 80 years old is the living, right? But here in Singapore, it's more than 80. So we're here in Singapore, I think we'll get around 90 years old, right? We don't know. So we will help you as well to support your funds when you retire. Okay? So how does VK5 will help you? In your bags, there will be a feedback form. You can check it. A white form. Yes. Okay. At the back, there is a policy summary or self-check summary. So you can check, am I protected with my income? Am I protecting it? So you can write it down. And also, you can write your info if you need us. If you need us to help you check if you already protected, you can write down your information and give it back later, and we will help you further discuss it. Okay? So, not only we are helping Filipinos or Singaporeans, we are also keen in helping community. Okay? Last February, we helped the Jompa CC, the community club. We provide we help Ampao distribution to our elders. So we are keen also in community works. So we also help you to provide 5-step solution in your income. So feel free to contact us anytime. to further discuss what else we can provide you from us from our passive income, what else protection do you need. We are here to help you as well. That's why we partner up, we partnership with different income stream organization. So I would like you to leave this quote. Protection is the first necessity for opulence and luxury. What opulence means? Great wealth. We need to be protected before we get wealth and luxurious life. So thank you. And now I'll give back the floor to Edison for our workshop. Okay?
So I'm back, guys. Thank you very much for that wonderful talk, and I hope to. This will be the last presentation for the day before we go into our networking. So I want you guys. This one, of course, you'll all need your cell phone. Okay. We have a couple of challenges, right, for you. I wouldn't say it's a challenge kasi madali naman i-sign up. It's easy to sign up, but it will be sort of a game where you can, participate and win cool prizes, okay, along the way. Okay, sounds good. Okay, so let me show you first what are the prizes. Okay, we have SEEDIN notebooks. You can choose either blue or black, and we have SEEDIN ball pens. You can choose gold or blue. Right? I'm sorry. Yes, and of course Prudential Life prices as well. So, very gracious of Rich, if you are the winner of each task, you can go up and choose whatever you want. Okay, one at a time. Okay, guys. Sorry, kasi medyo limited yung price namin. So, all right. So, apologies for that. But just to have a bit of fun with everyone. Okay, let's start. Okay. So the first thing, okay, is for you to. Okay, so are we ready? First of all, are we ready, guys? Yes. We can do it, right? We can do this. The first thing is for you to sign on, or if you need internet, right? Our Wi-Fi, if you don't have the Wi-Fi yet, it's, and you guessed, and the password is 120. All right. So I hope everyone has their Wi-Fi by now. Okay. If not, please raise your hand. Let me know, and we will assist you. All right. So the first task, okay, is to download and install. Again, I'm giving. Done. Okay, please, if you're done, I'll give three gifts. 3 gifts here. All right. One. Okay. First thing. Alright. Sige, okay lang. Sige po. Pati si sir. Sige po. Okay. First 4 na lang. Okay. So, yes, you have to come up because you can choose whatever you want, right? So, no, the phone is not available. That's fine. Sorry. What is the movement? What is that? Tumbler, yes. That's a Prudential tumbler, guys. Alright. Okay, thank you for your first set of winners. Okay. Listen, so this is a bit of a speed challenge, guys. Okay? The phone is not included. Sorry. Alright. Okay. So, next challenge. Are you ready? Okay. Alright, just to give everyone a fair start, I will give a few minutes for who have not yet download and install, right? So, para walang di ba? Everyone in the same field, okay? So, okay, just go to any Google Play Store or Apple Store, okay? Look for SEEDIN PH and download the one with the Philippine flag. Now, I understand we also have locals present today. So if you want to download the Singapore app, that's fine, right? That's the same. It's not only exclusive for Philippine app. That's the advantage if you're regional, right? You can do both. In fact, I will tell you this now. Even Filipinos who are here have the advantage of downloading the Singapore app as well. You also can sign up for Singapore. Right?
You couldn't mix your fund, right?
Yes, the funds are separate because one is in SGD, one is in peso, diba? So that's the advantage of being here
as overseas is you have access to both. For our Filipino investors back home, syempre, Philippine app lang, di ba? So that's your advantage. Okay, so again, download and install. It's a very small app, 10 MB only, right? Okay. Ready? Everyone's ready to go next challenge? Okay. I think to give everyone a fair, I'm gonna make this put it in the middle, right? So so everyone has a. Kasi pag dito, medyo okay, just to level the playing field a bit, okay? All right, the next challenge is complete profile. Okay, this will take a bit of time for some of you. Okay, I'm giving away another five gifts. Okay, complete profile. Okay. Sige sir, sige po. Yeah. Give chance. Okay. Thank you sir. Okay, complete your profile. Now, when you say complete profile, meaning when you open the app, there will be a register and you have to fill up some of the information. Now, for the meantime, if you don't know the information at hand, you can put temporary lang. Let's say NA for not available, or kung hingin ng PIN number, right? If you ask for your PIN number, you can put a temporary value like 11111. Okay? For now. And then you can always update it later on through our customer support. We are on Facebook. We are on. We have our online app, online channel as well. So you can contact us for any update of information. Right? So I'm giving away 5. So I need 5 participants to come up and claim their prize. Okay? Now, here's the requirement, huh? You have to submit your application and refresh so that it will show 100%. Okay? Now, if you look at my screen, it's 100%. So if you are not 100%, you cannot win the prize. Stick. Okay? Right? So dapat 100%. Okay, first 5. Oh, more tumblers for everyone. Thank you, Rich. Ano pa? Ano pang meron? Jacket. Invento na yun. Okay. If you need additional assistance, we're here to support you. Okay.
What gift do you want to give?
Let us know. Oh, what is this? Bago to ah. Pouch.
Yeah.
Ano? Potential pouch. More gifts to give. Okay. Alright. Alright, I think we can give 10 na lang for this batch. So, yes, 10 na lang, 10. Since this is a bit more tedious. Okay. So remember, when you complete your profile, click on Submit Application, okay? Yes. Sige sir, please. So we have our first claimant, kanina pa.
I signed up 2 weeks back.
2 weeks back. Thank you, sir. Please don't take everything out. I think you finished all the challenges already. Okay, nine more to give. 9 more. Okay. So once you're done, just come up and show me your app that says 100%. Okay, I actually have seen the list so far. There is, I'm just gonna read out names. Oh, so many. Sorry. All right. We have Jeffrey Vimalanta, that's completed. Sir Jeffrey?
Again?
Yes?
Whoa, that.
Yeah, it's on the, yes, thank you, Mr. Jeffrey. We have Rizalito Tapinas. Okay, Rizalito Tapinas. Yes, sir. Please.
Papunta pa lang dito kasi sineta.
Great. Thank you. So we have 7 left, right? We have given out 3. So we have 7 left. Okay. Okay, 7 left. Okay. We have okay. Now if you want to upload your picture, make sure it's your best profile pic, okay? The system will not accept us. Kung hindi maganda o guwapo. Okay, dapat. Okay. So, we have, next is Roxanne Gregory. Okay po. Thank you, ma'am. Please come up and claim your prize. So, 6 more. Okay. 6 more to go. More to go. And next is George Christian Ong. Yes, thank you, sir. Yes. Okay. So 5 more. We're looking for 5 more winners. See you guys later. Thank you. Yes. So 5 more. Okay. Okay, 5 more. All right. Marjorie Maano. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, thank you. If you think you should win and I didn't call your name, please let me know. Baka may na-miss out eh. So 4 more guys, 4 more. Okay? 4 more. Winners. Jacqueline Caracas. Thank you, ma'am. Please? Yes. Yes. So 3 more. Okay? 3 more. Pressure back. For those who are finished, please help the others. Let's help each other to win. Okay, 3 more. 3 more. Okay, make sure you submit. Okay. 3 more. Okay, congratulations. Yeah. Yes, all right. 2 more guys, 2 more. Thank you. Yes.
done, you can sign already the feedback form as well.
Okay. Yes. YCL. Ah, yes, sir. Thank you. Okay, please. One last winner. Okay. So, Larsher Manggaliman. Okay. YCL also already. Did I any name I didn't call yet? We have one left. One last winner. One last. We have more gifts to give. Okay. This is not the last round, so don't worry. Okay. All right. Okay. One last winner. Okay. Gaylord Cervales. Yes, sir. Thank you. And Dennis Talosik. Yes, sir. Sige, sir. 11. Right. Okay. Thank you, guys. This is only, we still have more. So, for those who didn't win this round, please complete it still because you need that for your next round. Okay. So, yeah. So your chance to win is on the next round. Okay. So, but I'm going to go with the next challenge already, guys. Okay. So that so that we can give you more gifts. Okay. So I still see some incomplete, right? Eric Rodriguez, Ronald Leco, Lottie 028. So these are the incomplete. So you try to complete it, okay? Because you need that for your next round, okay? Right? Alright. It's fun, guys. I hope you're having fun. I see the boy also. Alright. So, are you ready for the next challenge? The next game? Yes? Okay. Alright, here's the next challenge. Calculate your returns. Okay. So, for those of you who already have the app and registered, you need to go. You can go to your app, right? Well, I'm giving through the 5 winners here. Okay, go to your app and go to invest. Okay, and so invest is your second menu, and then go to a project. Well, we have one project now on the platform, and then click on calculate, and put in the amount that you think, and it can be an imaginary amount, and then click on calculate. Okay. So I don't have the steps here, but essentially the screen should look like this. Okay. So the challenge is for you to show me this screen of whatever amount you think. Make it realistic. Right?
Can you repeat that procedure again?
Yes. So the first step is to open the app. And then you will see the second window, the second tab, which is invest. There's one project that you can click, and click on calculate on the lower left.
The lower left.
Lower left. Yes, the calculate icon. Okay. I think I will. Right? Yes. It can be 10,000, it can be whatever, right? It can be, okay? Oh, and this one, you're an old-time investor. Why are you here? Okay. Yeah, really good. He's one of our early supporters, so this one's a very good friend. Thank you, sir. Yes, please come up. Right? Calculate, right? So how much is your imaginary? 500. Okay, US dollars then. Yeah, thank you, sir. Yes, thank you. Okay, thank you, sir. Okay. So one more, I think. One more winner. One more winner. Yes. Come. You choose your. Nice. Oh, what do you want? You want a pouch? You want a pen? Right, see, sir. So you remember our earlier presentation where I said monthly equal repayment, right? So this one will show you how much you're getting back your money. Equal spread yun. Right? So for my 10,000 pesos investment, 100,000 I'm earning 3,850 for a 6-month project. That's what it means, no? Right? But every month, babalik sa akin yung pera ko. So pwede ko i-roll ulit, pang compounding. Right? I can earn compounded, I can withdraw. We don't charge for withdrawal or top up. So walang fees yun.
By the way, let's say that there's back, will it close
It won't close. We don't have a maintaining balance. Yeah, it's not like a bank, you know. Kahit 0 pesos for 6 months, hindi ma-close. Oh, yes, sir. Thank you. All right. Okay, so. Okay, here comes the hard challenge, right? Okay, the next challenge is optional because all right. So, okay, guys. I think we're very excited. That's good. So the next challenge is going to be a bit more difficult. And again, like I said, it's optional. Why? Because this requires you to top up, right? So you can choose not to join this challenge, that's fine. But if you do, usually what we suggest is for you to, when you're actually doing top up, you go to your profile and then click on top up. So profile is your last icon, right? Your last icon. You click on top up, and you have a couple of selections. You can, if you already are on online banking in your Philippines bank account, whether BPI, BPO, or what, you just have to select online banking. So online banking, andyan po yung local banks available, right? So this challenge is, like I said, optional because it does require you to top up already. So you don't have to join if you don't want, right? Ayan po. Oh, by the way, guys, top up is different from invest, kasi you can top up 1 peso lang, right? It doesn't mean you have to top up 10,000 agad, right? You can top up 1 peso. We have investors who top up literally just 1 peso, just to test it, and it worked, and then he tops up the real amount. So that's fine. Okay, so if you're ready to do that, okay. All right. Okay. So thanks for that. I'm gonna skip. Okay, I'm gonna go to the next one. Okay, but just to let you know that this is where you load your wallet. Okay, because it's like loading your GrabPay, right? You know, if you're using Grab, right? You have to load your wallet. So you're loading your SEEDIN wallet as well. Okay. I see we're having fun with the app. Okay. All right. Okay. So the next challenge is for you to invest in a project. Of course, again, this one will require your 10,000 math, right? So this is what you see this. This is my wallet, right? So right now I actually cannot, but I need to have 10,000 for me to invest. But earlier, when you click calculate in the project, when you click calculate on the left, there's an invest also on the right. This is where you invest. All right. So once you're ready to do this and this on your own time, then that is when you do the actual investment. Okay. So some of you have already done that, right? So you know, it's very quick. It's online. Okay. All right. Oh, this is the easy one. Refer a friend. Okay. So the refer a friend challenge is on your app. under profile, on your last tab, right, you click on refer a friend, okay? Under security, refer a friend. And I want you to put in just one friend's email and click invite. Okay, you will see that when you do that, the friend's email will be under your list already, and your friend would have received an invitation email. You remember earlier I mentioned about the 1%? Yun na yan. Pag na-invest yung kaibigan mo, meron kang 1%. Alright, so, okay, it can be your own email, it can maybe your family or whatever, right? So click on profile, refer a friend, and type an email and click invite, okay? So I'm giving 5 more. I'm giving 5 more. Okay. 5 more. Right? So you can see mine. I have a list of emails. In yours, even just one is okay. Okay? Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry. There you go. See this? So there are 2 ways to refer, guys. You will see in your refer a friend screen, there is a affiliate code, right? So this affiliate code, like if my ID is 7, in yours you will have your own number, right? That number is your unique member ID. So when you refer a friend and they click on this and you share it on Facebook or anything, whenever they click on that link, they will become your referral. This one is when you invite a friend. So you put in your friend's email address and then click invite. Okay, so there are 2 ways to do that. One is they click on your link, or 2 is you send them an invite email. Okay? And what is this? This is when they don't reply your email and you resend to them. You make ulit. Okay? And of course, it computes your commission. That everything is systematic already. Okay? Our referral program is very simple. Hindi po siya MLM. It's a single level affiliate. So I referred Madam, okay? Yung anong investment niya, meron ako dyan. Kung na-refer siya si Sir, sa kanya yung hindi sa akin. So the goal is to increase your affiliate or referral horizontally, not vertically. Alright, do we have winners? Isa lang, just one. Yes, sir. Okay, 4 more.
Sined sa grupo.
4 more.
Post ko nga sa page. It's time.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. 2 more. 2 left. 2 left.
Basta may error yun. May error ba yun?
Error na?
Normally like.
Sige sir, no problem. Just please. Okay, so next. Okay. Use a security feature. Okay, so as you know, our app has a lot of security features. It's like your banking app. Huh? So when you go to profile and you click on security, okay, there are 3 main features. There's update password, biometrics, or update your mobile number. Right? So okay, for those who have either updated their password, turned on their biometric, or updated their mobile number. Now, the mobile number, you can enable or disable your SMS OTP. Because sometimes, like personally, ayaw ko masyadong makulit eh. Kaya I off my OTP. Because when I invest, wala na, diretso na. Di na hingi ng OTP sa akin. So, but for some, they prefer that, no? So, again, our app is compliant with your how secure you want it to be, right? Or how you can even connect it to your fingerprint or Face ID, or you can on and off your OTP. Okay, so I'm giving 5 again, 5 on this, right? Or 3 na lang, 3 winners for this. Okay. So go to security and use a security feature. Okay, please come up if you have already done that. Okay. Pati VK5 boys. Sali na kayo. Okay. So security feature. Okay. You can on your fingerprint for Face ID. You can update your password, or you can on and off or off your OTP or update your mobile number. Okay. Anyone? If there are no claimers, we'll go to our last challenge. Okay? So, are you ready for the last challenge? Alright. Last challenge, and this is for the rest of the gifts already, is to either follow us on IG, Instagram, that is, or like us on FB. Okay? So, please show us your support. Okay, so please go to either your Facebook or your Instagram and type SEEDIN PH or SEEDIN Philippines, and please like or follow our social media page. Sir, please. This is for all already, so yeah, for all for the remaining prizes. Okay. Yes, please. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. FB, yes. Okay. 7 left.
Pero nahiya na rin ako.
I'm not bringing this back to Philippines, okay? So, I'm leaving it like it. Yeah, please, come. Yes, sir. Yes. Four left. 4 more winners. Okay? Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Oh, 3 left. Ako na. Just raise your hand, I will give you. 3 left. Oh, 4. Wow, so many. How many left? We have 6 left. Yeah, 6 left. Okay. Yes, sir. Okay. Okay. 4 left. 1. Yeah. Okay. Tumbler. Okay. 1 tumbler and 3 ball pens left. Tumbler. Mas benta yung tumbler. Ball pen. Yes, sir. Okay. 2 left. Right? Facebook or Instagram, okay? Like us or follow us. Okay? Alright. Wala? I'm bringing this now. Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you. For the PK boys. Alright. So, with this, I hope everyone had fun. And thank you again for joining SEEDIN platform. Before we go, I think the announcement will have a group picture.
Before we have our group picture, can you fill out the
Feedback form and Q&A, right?
Yeah.
If you want to ask questions,
Okay na yung ballpen.
and this one will be
Ah,
here.
ito, ito.
Papalitan
ko yung ballpen.
For a few questions. For the SEEDIN SG, they're asking for promo code. Is there any promo code? Okay. Sir Nelson, maybe you can like to shed some light on because he's signing on the SG platform.
The promo code is optional. So the one.
Do you have any promo codes?
I mean, today we are here to show support for Philippines. Maybe after you all sign up with Philippines, I will ask him to give me the email addresses or send you a promo code. Can you send to us? Then we talk the right.
Okay, boss. Announcement, So sign up with SEEDIN Philippines, and then there'll be contacting by Edison, and then we'll give you the promo code for the seat in Singapore. It's an opportunity as well for everyone. So please do fill up the fill up form, and then we'll be having our group picture today before we end. Any more questions? Any more questions?
Whether for SEEDIN or yes, sir.
Pag mag-top up kami, paano yun? Yung sabihin may bank details doon, tapos mag-transfer lang kami. Screenshot yung transfer.
Yes. So there are several ways to top up, right? The first is through bank-to-bank transfer. So we have Metro Bank and Sterling Bank that you can use to transfer your funds. So if you're on Metro Bank already, you can use Metro Direct. If the other way is through online banking, so we course through the likes of Paynamics and Dragon Pay. So whether it's Union Bank or any other local bank that you have, you can use that online banking. The third is GCash. So we have mobile wallet also. So if you're on GCash, you can use that to top up. The fourth is over the counter for our kababayan back home. Cebuana, Builder, and also 7-Eleven, EasyPay. So those are over the counter or banks. Most of our Filipino Singapore investors, they do it over two ways: either online banking if they already have a bank account in Philippines, or through bank-to-bank transfer. So they use, sometimes their banks here are DBS, OCBC, BOS, BTS, direct na sa bank transfer namin. So the way to, once you transfer, you still go to your app, right? And then click on top up, and then go to bank transfer, and then select, let's say, Sterling, and then upload the picture of your screenshot of your online transfer for the same amount. Okay. So if you top up, let's say 10,000 pesos, like you put your 10,000 and then upload the screen for us to validate. Usually within 24 hours, validated na yan. So because there's a clearing, right? If it's inter-country bank transfer. Now, if you do it the local bank transfer, it's either within a couple of minutes or the latest or next banking date before clearing. Depends on the bank. Like Union Bank, for example, they are on InstaPay, so that's instant. That's within seconds. But if it's BDO, usually it's the next banking day. BDO online bills payment, probably within 1 hour by then. So depends on the bank.
And how about yung withdrawal?
The withdrawal is the same. So withdrawal, you need to nominate your local bank account. So your Philippine bank account, it's in your profile. Remember, in your profile, it asks for your bank account, right? So that is where we send the money. Now, to make the withdrawal, you go to withdraw funds, right? So there's a drop, there's withdrawal. So you click withdraw, and whatever in your wallet, you can withdraw that. It will be sent to your bank account in within 2 banking days. Free of charge. So we don't charge for top up. We don't charge for withdrawal. For top up, sometimes the bank may charge. Like alam ko BPI, through Dragon Pay, they charge like 30 or 15 pesos. Convenience fee. But that's not our fee, it's the banks. Kami is 0. Alright, so I hope that answered your question, Sir Jeffrey.
As well, so in the feedback form, you can write on, because we are already partnering up with income streams seminars. So if you do want to attend to other seminars that we are partnering up, you can write it on the feedback form.
So any other questions, Sir Ma'am? Yes. Yes. We liquidate the asset and then we return the remaining principal to our investors. Kaya wala pong investor na logis. Kasi for example, na-invest mo ng 10,000 mo sa isang 6 months project. Yung first 3 months, mabayan ng SME. Sa 4th month, na-default. So, at yung gawin namin is i-liquidate namin, tapos ibalik namin yung remaining principal sa iyo. So, you will not lose money. Hindi mawala yung principal. You will earn less.
Because also like legal process.
Yes, there's a legal process. That in one of the slides, I've shown that we, from the due diligence all the way to liquidation, we performed the
So the
legal
liquidation is also developing.
yes.
The core enforcement.
Yes, exactly. Actually, before we even put up any project on our platform, the entire legality is already worked through with them.
So is that like a special legal process that you can speak with it, or you have to go through the procedure, hire lawyers, and that?
Right. Usually, what we do is we ensure that the contract stipulates whatever is the asset that is being pledged. Sometimes what we recognize is not only hard assets, but also what we call intangible assets. Like, for example, corporate guarantor, guarantee, and whatnot. So the turnaround time usually for a project like that is within 15 days that we can process. Right? So in other words, in terms of the guarantee that is being pledged, depending on the asset class, that is how we process.
I'm just curious, like how, because in some jurisdictions, the liquidation of collateral will be undergoing some special process
Yes.
that you don't really need to go to the court.
Yes, like small claims.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if this still need to go through the process or you can just enforce it back.
The answer to that is both is possible. Of course, depending on the size of the loan as well as the asset that's being pledged. Our goal really is whatever the process is, it does not bother our investors. We make sure that investors is protected with that and guaranteed by the borrower's pledge, and that's really our value added, right? It is, like in a lot of the the legality of following up with that is on the investor side. That's what makes our platform unique. We ensure that the whole thing is taken care of. And of course, given our track record, like in the Philippines, it hasn't happened yet. In the region, we had it was like 1 out of 300 businesses, so 0.3%. So yes, and of course, like in Singapore, we have a license by the MES, right? So we have the Capital Market Service license. So that is also something that's for extra protection for our investors. Yes, sir.
Is there any discussion between the investors and the CEO regarding the business that he wants to invest in and the contract?
All the contracts, since you are already member, you can actually see it's already been digitized. So in your profile, you will see a user contract. Now, if you click on the user contract, the entire contract is already there. That's for what we call the escrow agreement. This is if you're a lawyer, you can actually look this up. But this is a 14-page contract that is our agreement, right? So meaning, you as the investor, you are entrusting SEEDIN for us to select the right projects for you and for our partnership banks to escrow your funds. So that is and then of course, when we sign up our borrowers, we also have a different set of contracts with them. So with borrowers, it's hard copy. With investors, you need that. Okay, everything is here now. But with borrowers, we are a bit old school on that. We make sure everything is notarized. Uso yan. Saka may PDCs kami. So the borrowers are issuing what we call post-dated checks. Hindi ata uso sa Singapore na PDC, but in Philippines it's very, very important. Especially if you're into lending. Right? Yes, sir. I think so.
Yes. Those investments that you make, right, when they return to us, I saw that your slides,
Yes.
they deduct tax from it, right?
Yes.
So those taxes, when we get those income, right?
Right.
Are we supposed to declare those? Are those only Philippine taxes, or are they Singapore taxes as well? Do we need to declare them?
Okay.
Because every year we get assessed, we make
Yes.
declarations, right? So we don't only declare our salaries here, but we also declare salaries we get from everywhere else.
Yes. Think of this as a Filipino bank giving you your interest, because like when you put your money in a BDO or BPI, every time there's an interest paid out, you will see there's also withholding tax. Lagi yun. Pag check mo yung passbook mo, And that's mandated by the Philippine law. And so that is what the BIR mandates. And in our case, ganun din. So for a 11% gross per annum, let's put it this way. For a 10% project, your net is 7% because we charge 1% for what you call a risk management fee. So that risk management fee is our fee to you for managing the risk of all the projects. And then there's a 2% that is the withholding by BIR. So the rule of thumb is for every project PA, less lang 30%. Yun ang net. So your net is hence the 7%, right, for a 10% project. If it's 11%, your net is 7.7. If it's 12%, your net is 8.4% net. So less 30% of the interest earned. Yan po yung net. Now, as for declaration, of course, same goes as for the Philippine side. So it's like a Philippine bank interest payout. So since na-deduct siya sa Philippines, hindi mo kailangan declare yun sa Singapore side. Kasi yung payout namin, our payout to you is your Philippine bank, not your Singapore bank. It's not transferred back here.
So we really have to have a Philippine account?
Yes. You need to have a Philippine account. The top up, no need, because you can send it from your Singapore account. But the payout you need, because we're paying you in pesos. Okay, so yes, sir.
I noticed that it's almost 0% default rate for the SEEDIN pitch. But I noticed that also in the year of 2015, there's 1.23 default rate. Can you explain the case and what happened for the investor for the default case?
Yes,
how do you deal with that?
Yes, the same question as earlier, which is we liquidate the collaterals that were pledged, and then we return the principal back to our investor. The full amount of the remaining principal.
How long is the process?
The process can, it depends on the country to country, but usually like in our experience, it can take either within 15 days or within a month. Right? So that is the usual process.
With our default, who take the loss? Like, you take the loss because you said that the full amount of principal is not being back.
There is what you call appraisal. So whatever the collateral was being pledged, it's not appraised at 100%. So in the Philippines, I think also goes here. Like if it's a real estate, it usually goes maybe up to 70% of the appraisal value. If it's a movable asset like car, vehicles, it's usually at 50% or less. So in other words, it's not really about losing the principal, but rather the time. And that's where we mitigate and make sure our investors don't have to wait for it. So in other words, we don't lose money. We just need time to turn it around, to liquidate it.
So again, the length of your let's say you committed like for a 10 months ROI, right? So in worst case scenario, like the SME who borrowed the amount didn't didn't deliver.
Yes.
So the risk will be handled by your part, right?
Yes.
Between the but the payout wise, will there be any delay for the funder
for the funder? As I mentioned earlier, it takes about 15 to 30 days for when that happens. No? So in other words, the principal, it will take a bit of time for us to prepare and bring it back to you. Of course, through electronic plan. So nasa wallet mo isettle.
So for example, your investment is like 12 months, right?
Yes.
You're supposed to pay us per monthly, so that's 12 monthly payments. If the SME defaults after 3 months, the remaining months will be given monthly.
Excluding the interest, kasi,
yes,
because there's no one to pay that interest. Just the principal.
As I have a question for example, if we do invest in Singapore SMEs,
yes,
on the Singapore branch of SEEDIN, right? The tax will be the same, right? It will be deducted by the bank. The income that we get, is it, do we violate any laws regarding our employment because we're not supposed to have any other employment? Is it considered as another employment?
Investment is
Well, because you have local bank account, right? And maybe Nelson can shed some light on that for the Singapore side, because your salaries are also kept in a local bank account, right? So technically, it's really just it's like saving it in a different channel of savings.
We just want to make sure, because there's a difference between pass holders and permanent residents.
Right.
We cannot really just get income from
other sources.
It has to be from your main
We just want to
company.
make sure that we're not violating anything.
Right. So maybe Nelson, you can for the Singapore scenario, for
overseas
Second employment.
In Singapore, right, I talk a bit about legal first, so let's establish the legal framework first. When you get involved in a loan with, for example, other companies, right, the reason why it's all legal in Singapore is because we fall under the excluded money lenders clause. So money lenders act, right, is actually for person to person. So excluded money lenders, right, is actually person to company. So that's one thing. The second thing is that when you invest or when you lend that company money, right, from our point of view, right, you are actually making a financial investment. It is not a second job. Yeah.
Okay.
So that is the clear distinction we need to make. It is not your full-time job as well. Yeah, it is a financial investment. So the bank will ask you, for example, how come you got this regular income or deposit from this company? Well, actually not really in that sense. You basically press the withdraw button on the platform, so the money goes back to your bank account. From our point of view, right, in Singapore, right, you have an investment and you make a gain, and then you show them a statement of these gains, and of course you show them that this is the CMS license number of the company where you get these gains from. More or less, it's a done deal. Yeah.
So do we need to declare them in our income tax assessments?
In Singapore, the answer is yes. So in Philippines and many other countries, right, the government practice withholding tax. So actually from our point of view, that means that the government asks the companies to take the tax from y'all so that y'all don't have to pay any tax. And you realize that as all of y'all